Welcome to the explainer. So, to really get how modern AI ticks, I want you to picture something kind of weird. Imagine a brain in a vat. It's brilliant, right? It's read literally every book ever written, and it can logic its way through crazy complex problems. But it's completely sealed off in there. No eyes, no hands, no connection to the outside world whatsoever. It doesn't even know what year it is or if it's raining right now. And yet, when we use AI assistants today, they magically spit out real-time data, do perfect math, and give us live updates. It's wild. How does a totally sealed-off brain pull that off? Well, today we're unpacking the exact mechanism that makes this magic happen: function calling, or as it's often called, tool use. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our structural roadmap for today. 1. The real-time paradox. 2. What is a tool? 3. The call-response cycle. 4. One pattern, any tool. 5. When tool calls fail. And finally, 6. The spark of agency. Section 1. The real-time paradox. To really appreciate the genius behind function calling, we've got to start with a massive limitation. We need to look at a language model as a completely isolated system. Think about this for a second. How does an isolated neural network know the current time? Well, by design, it doesn't. A language model doesn't have a built-in system clock. It definitely doesn't have a built-in calculator, and there's no direct internet connection to magically check live weather or stock prices. At its core, it is really just a massive web of mathematical weights trained on past data. That's it. So look at the stark contrast we're dealing with here. As users, we experience these dynamic, real-time answers. But the reality under the hood? It's a static neural network, churning out text token by token. There is a huge gap there. The bridge between that static reality and dynamic, real-world utility, that's function calling. It is the ultimate resolution to this whole paradox. Moving on to Section 2, what is a tool? To understand how function calling actually bridges this gap, we've got to make a major conceptual shift. We need to see tools the way the AI sees them. When you or I think of a tool, say a web scraper or a calculator, we picture a working piece of software, right? But to an AI model, a tool is purely a text blueprint. It's a highly structured description, usually formatted as a JSON schema, that tells the model the tool's name, what it does, and exactly what info it needs to run. The tool itself is absolutely not executable code living inside the model. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how simple the anatomy of a tool description actually is. Check out these 3 specific fields. It's essentially an instruction manual we're handing to the AI. You've got the name, which is just the identifier so the model knows what to call, then the description, which tells the AI exactly when it makes sense to use this tool, and finally parameters. These are the strict, hard and fast rules for the data the model needs to provide, like saying, hey, this zip code parameter, it literally has to be a number, no letters allowed. And this brings us to a massively important realization. The model never executes the code itself. It literally can't run a Python script or ping a database. Think of the model strictly as the brain. It reads the situation, picks the right tool from its manual, and formats the arguments. It relies 100% on your application, which acts as the hands, to actually do the heavy lifting and run the code. Which leads us nicely to Section 3, the call-response cycle. So if the brain and the hands are separate, how do they talk? Let's break down these sequential gears that make tool use happen. Let's walk through this handoff step by step. Step 1, the user sends a message. Step 2, the model realizes, hey, I need external help here. So it pauses its normal text generation and outputs a structured tool call. Step 3, the host application steps in, intercepts that call, and executes the actual real-world code. Step 4, the application takes the result of that code and inserts it right back into the conversation history. And finally, Step 5, the model reads that brand new information and generates its final, factually grounded answer for the user. Let's anchor this abstract loop with a super concrete example, like a generic unit conversion tool. Say the user asks to convert 5 miles to kilometers. The model knows it shouldn't just guess the math, right? So it formats a structured request. Convert value 5 from miles to kilometers. Your application catches this, runs the actual math, and shoots back the raw data, 8.04. The model then takes that 8.04 and spins up a natural, friendly response for the user. It is a completely perfect handoff. All right, Section 4, one pattern, any tool. Once you really grasp that basic call and response loop, you've basically unlocked the whole AI tool ecosystem. Because this mechanism, it's entirely universal. Think about a calculator tool versus a calendar tool. Sure, in the real world, one is crunching numbers and the other is checking today's date, but mechanically, to the model, they are totally identical. They both just have a name, a description, and parameters. Whether you are querying a secure private database, fetching live weather data, or turning on a smart thermostat, the underlying mechanism of picking a name and formatting those parameters doesn't change one bit. And this brilliantly highlights how models learn to interleave these structured calls directly into their normal text generation. As the model is predicting words, it can seamlessly pause, fire off a call to a search API, wait for that precise fact to come back, and then just keep right on constructing its sentence using the newly retrieved perfectly accurate fact. It becomes this incredibly fluid part of its reasoning process. Section 5. When tool calls fail. Because look, no system is perfect, right? We have to acknowledge the friction in the gears and see what happens when the model just makes a mistake. Remember, the model is ultimately just predicting text, so things can definitely break down in a few specific ways. Maybe the model chooses the completely wrong tool for the job. Or maybe it picks the right tool but outputs malformed parameters, like trying to send a text string when the app strictly requires an integer. Or, honestly, the worst one, it might hallucinate arguments. It might just invent a fake transaction ID to fill a required parameter even though the user never actually provided one. So the crucial point is how we actually fix this. And the answer is schema quality. When you give the model highly detailed specifications, strict data type definitions, and explicitly constrained options, things we call enum values, it acts as the ultimate guardrail. The data actually shows that high-quality, precise tool descriptions drastically reduce these failure modes and can bump up a model's accuracy by 10 to 20%. You absolutely have to write good instruction manuals for your AI. Finally, Section 6, the spark of agency. Let's zoom out for a second and look at the macro picture here. This whole seemingly simple mechanical loop, it represents a massive philosophical and architectural shift in artificial intelligence. The exact moment a model can choose to format a tool call instead of just outputting conversational text, it crosses a major threshold. It stops being just a static text generator and actually becomes a dynamic actor. Think about it. If that tool is hooked up to an email API or a smart device, the model isn't just talking anymore. It is actively affecting the real world based on its reasoning. This, right here, is the true foundation of agentic behavior. Which naturally brings us to the frontier of what's possible. If a single tool call gives a model hands to manipulate the outside world, what happens when it can string dozens of these actions together, observing the results, adapting, and planning its next move completely autonomously? Tool calls happen one at a time. Next, the loop that chains many of them together, react.